Team ban.
Hello Dota fans, looks like we're going to be doing a cast for the subreddit of amateur casting, r/Dota 2 Castit, I believe it's called. This game was requested by a user, so I figured it's a nice short one, why not pick it up real quick. It's going to be a game of Captain's Mode versus BZ, Banzai Geeks, and We Heart Taylor Swift. I must say I'm quite a big fan of Taylor Swift as well, so this game could definitely be very fun. Taylor Swift starts off the ban phase with a Keeper of the Light. Also, always just a solid ban all around. He keeps the lanes pushed out hard, manages to keep everyone's mana topped off at all times, and can pull heroes in from anywhere across the map with that ultimate. If that's not powerful, I don't know what is. He's one of the best counter pushers, one of the best early game supports, just an all-around very solid hero. Banzai Geeks then responds with the Bat Rider. Banning a Bat Rider is never a bad thing. His napalm stacks can get incessantly annoying. Your turn speed is near nothing when you even have one of them on you. Your move speed goes down, his attack damage goes up. I don't see why you'd ever want to play against him for that alone, let alone Firefly and Lasso. Lasso being able to pull one enemy hero completely out of a fight at any point in the game, through BKB, through Magic Immunity, anything like that. So that is a tide turner as far as fights go. Taylor Swift then answers with the Wisp ban here. Looks like they're all trying to ban out supports and keep the playing field a little bit more leveled. Wisp, always a solid pick, pretty much has to be coupled with certain carries or semi-carries or gankers. There is a large list, of course, and the list always gets bigger as people figure out better strategies, but people like Chaos Knight or Tiny or, you know, gankers, mid-game powerhouses, even PA, I've seen Phantom Assassin picked up by Alliance with the Wisp. And it is a very powerful combination when it's paired up with a ganker or a mid-game powerhouse like that. So definitely a good ban, and it looks like they're going to try to keep away from the mid-game heroes there. Banzai Geeks waiting for that next ban, going into the reserve time already for it, trying to think long and hard about what they really just don't want to play against. And there's still plenty of heroes in the pools, so they take out the Magnus. Magnus did get a couple of nerfs this past patch, so he's not as powerful as he used to be. Especially his ultimate has lost a lot of damage. Bottle Crowing has gotten nerfed, which is just a huge nerf to his laning abilities in middle. So he has fallen slightly out of favor, but his ultimate is still incredibly powerful. If you have any sort of AoE damage, it doesn't matter that Magnus's ult doesn't do nearly as much damage as it used to. That ultimate will pull everyone in and stun them and just let that team just wail away on them with AoE damage. So banning that Magnus out really just says that, you know, you don't want that team fight capability. You want to be able to take the team fights yourself without having to worry about something like that. Taylor Swift then gets the first pick with Lone Druid. Versatile pick, can pretty much go safe lane, off lane, jungle, mid. I've seen it played in the Chinese scene. So there's really just no end to what Lone Druid can do, and a farmed Lone Druid is a fearsome thing late game. That Entangle, just huge. Damage to buildings is massive. Very versatile pick. Banzai Geeks answers with the Lifestealer and Shadow Demon, a very good combination. Shadow Demon being one of the counters to Lifestealer, I can definitely see why they would want to pick those up together. Lifestealer, despite the nerf to his open wounds, is still one of the best carries. Just his early game is a little bit nerfed. His mid game, though, is still very solid. Taylor Swift answers immediately with the Beastmaster. That Beastmaster is going to be a direct counter to the Lifestealer. The Roar, his ultimate, goes through the magic immunity, so Lifestealer pretty much has a free BKB, and Taylor Swift is saying, you know, we don't want to deal with that, we just want to be able to stun you up, CC you down, and nuke you down, and damage you out, and just knock you out of the fight during that ultimate. On top of that, Lone Druid's roots also go through BKB, and thus Lifestealer's Rage, so that will also be able to hold the Lifestealer in place. Banzai's ban turned now, and it looks like Taylor Swift has either a mid or an offlaner in that Beastmaster. It tends to be more of his role, with the Lone Druid looking to either be the offlaner or the safe lane, depending on how they want to lane it. So, still very versatile, but they're looking pretty much for mid supports, and they kind of have their carry. depending on how they want to lane it, of course. But Banzai starts to ban out the mids, with Puck being their first ban there in this phase, and Taylor Swift answers immediately with the Nyx. Nyx is still ridiculously strong. He's a nightmare to lane against. Speaking of nightmare, Bane gets banned out by Banzai, and then Taylor Swift continues with the Quap ban. Quap, they're just an incredibly good mid hero, can be very annoying, especially if you don't have a Puck to put against them, so gonna be a little bit of a targeted ban there. Sand King is the pickup by Banzai, just looking for some very reliable stuns. That ultimate is a giant pain in the ass in fights, just does a ridiculous amount of damage. So as soon as he gets up that Blink Dagger, he can be a huge team fight threat. He's probably going to be run as the support, so it's looking like a tri-lane with the Life Stealer. So that means if that is their tri-lane, they'll be looking for a mid hero and an off-laner with their last two picks. So the Darkseer is still in the pool, and it looks like Taylor Swift is going to pick up the Visage. Visage is one of the most ridiculous tri-lane heroes. He is just, his nuke, his soul assumption I believe it is just ridiculously powerful, and there's really the damage output there, especially in the early game, but even moving into the mid game and the late game is humongous. And his familiars, that ultimate, very useful. They drop down and can stun. I've seen that stun save many a players before, so it's definitely a very useful overall pick. Banzai now, like I said, looking for a mid and an off-laner, so we'll see if they'll want to pick up something like the Darkseer here to take the off-lane, or something for the middle lane like a Skywrath. It looks like Clinkz is going to be their pick. Clinkz is definitely a pretty decent off-laner. I wouldn't say he's one of the best, because he does need a lot of farm and levels to be effective, and getting farm on some of those off-lanes, especially against a very nuke-heavy tri-lane, can be very difficult on a Clinkz. That said, he does have the escape mechanisms, so it's a very useful pick as far as that goes. Taylor Swift will answer back with a Leshrac. Looks like it's going to be a tri-lane for them too, between the Visage and the Leshrac. So I could definitely see them picking up a carry, and hopefully Banzai might ban one out here. Whether it's the Gyro, or really it's so open-ended right now. There are so many carries in the pool that you can't even begin to fathom what they could ban or pick. Taylor Swift, they could go the tri-lane there with Beastmaster middle, Lone Druid as an off-lane, and a Visage Leshrac safe try. Personally, I would go aggressive try with them, as they have a massive killing power. Visage with his nuke and Leshrac with his stun lightning or stun edict, depending on how you want to do it, would be a fantastic aggressive tri-lane. Banzai, seeing that killing power, does choose to ban out the Gyro. Gyro, also one of those heroes that has ridiculous early game potential, with that Rocket Barrage just doing an insane amount of damage, mostly if it's 1 versus 1 or against one hero more or less, but it can split across 2 or 3 heroes, still be very influential in those early fights. He also has the crazy late game of Flat Cannon, hitting everything within a 1,000 unit radius, which is huge in team fights. Being able to hit everyone at once is gigantic. He did get a nerf, though, to that. It upped the cooldown from 20 seconds to 30 seconds, I believe, on Flat Cannon, so you can't just pretty much spam it every time it's off cooldown, so a little bit difficult there. Taylor Swift chooses to ban out the Clockwork, which I'm a little bit questionable about, because they did have the Clinkz for the offlane, so perhaps a wasted ban, but not an overall horrible pick. Clockwork is a very disruptive hero, but Banzai answers right back with the Storm Spirit immediately, and if you want to talk about disruptive heroes in team fights, Storm Spirit is up there. He can bounce around side to side in a fight, front to back, and just pick off your supports as soon as the fight starts, and then as soon as you try to focus him, he's gone. So definitely a solid pick from Banzai, especially as if I'm assuming he's going to be run as the mid. So Taylor Swift will answer with the Naga Siren. Naga going to be in the tri-lane here, it looks like. Naga is definitely a good hero still. She did get quite a few nerfs since TI2 when she was picked regularly, but hopefully they'll be able to run that tri-lane with great effect thanks to the Visage and the Leshrac. Naga adding a little bit of nuke damage, a little bit of lockdown with the Ensnare, and that ultimate, of course, is fantastic setup, and even perfectly viable as a defensive ability as well. So she can get away, she can initiate, she's a very solid hero, and it looks like Taylor Swift has a very, very mid-game oriented lineup. Banzai also has a pretty mid-game oriented lineup, provided Clinkz and Storm Spirit get their farm. Lifestealer can pretty much get his farm anywhere, whether it's in the tri-lane or it goes to the jungle or wherever. Lifestealer is very versatile, but it'll really depend on the Clinkz and Storm Spirit winning their lanes to see how well they can do. And looks like we're going to start off here with Taylor Swift, and let's introduce the team. Jesse Ventura will be playing the Leshrac, man style on the Naga. #1 Taylor Swift fan NA will be on the Beastmaster, and Biffaloo on the Lone Druid. Starting it off for the Radiant, Error is going to be on the Shadow Demon, almost said Shadow Shaman there. Banzai Jackass is going to be on the wow, I'm forgetting names. Sand King, righto. Banzai SN3A, not even going to try for that one, is going to be on the Storm. And Toto's is going to be on the Lifestealer, while Louis Contrera is going to be on the Clinks. Looks like Clinks is going straight up to the off lane, checking the rune here, probably going to ward up a little bit. So he's likely going to go straight to the off lane. Looks like Error's coming down to the bottom, and they do have 4 at the bottom here, but looks like Sensa's SN3 is going to be going middle, looking for that early bottle, especially with that build. Dire down here is going the aggressive tri-lane with the Leshrac and the Visage, with the Naga as backup here. Definitely looking at a very high kill potential in this lane, so we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that. Looks like all the wards are coming out, though, to block out the pull camps and just ward up in general. So they will hopefully be able to block that out and make sure that those pulls don't put them at a huge disadvantage. But losing that chance, actually, they are going to be forced back, and they do drop an Observer ward, so they will be able to keep some vision, but they did not manage to drop down the ward into the pull camp, which could prove to be very bad news for them. Maybe they'll be getting that down there in a little bit. #1 Taylor Swift fan NA will be going middle on the Beastmaster, and Beastmaster is a capable mid. He's not perhaps the best, especially since the bottle nerf on the Courier. The Courier, for those of you that haven't really played or just watching for fun or whatever, the Courier now moves 30% slower with an empty bottle on it. So that's not a game-ending nerf, but it certainly won't help him any. And it looks like the 2 off lanes here will be Louis Contrera and Biffaloo fighting it out on this top lane. Biffaloo getting some harass on that Clinks with the bear, while just last hitting with the hero. So he is doing reasonably well here with 2 last hits, so not that bad. Gonna have to pay a lot of attention to this tri-lane, of course, though, with the kill potential coming down here for both lanes, really, between the Sand King, and it looks like Error's gonna initiate with the disruption and gonna get stunned up. Sand King comes through with a double stun, though, but Error is in a lot of trouble, and Error will go down to that Visage for the first blood. As I pointed out earlier, Visage just has that ridiculous nuke. That nuke does so much damage early game, and that can turn the tide of battle. As you can see there, Shadow Demon might have actually lived had he been able to run away a little bit faster and not get hit with that nuke or get out of range of it, but that nuke is just too much damage. Looks like Jesse Ventura is going to ward the pull camp here, and they might have just been waiting until after, and it looks like the Shadow Demon is going to get stunned up by the Leshrac after coming out of his own disruption defensively, and it looks like he's going to go down again. This aggressive tri-lane paying dividends for I Heart Taylor Swift. And it looks like Lifesteal is going to be going on here, and he gets stunned up by the Leshrac and right-clicked quite a bit, but no further damage coming out of that. No more kills. Looks like Visage did not quite have the mana for that Soul Assumption. Otherwise, that might have been a very dead Lifesteal. He was getting really low there, so everyone's just going to go back to farming, and it looks like Taylor Swift fans getting that regen rune, and he has his bottle, so he definitely can make the most of that with his wild axes. Both mids have their bottle, so it's going to be a relatively even matchup. I don't really foresee any kills here, unless there's a whole lot of overextending going on, which is very possible, of course. It wouldn't be the first time I saw it, but hopefully they'll both play conservative enough, and we can keep an eye on that lane, but it shouldn't be too bad. Same with this lane. There shouldn't be too much kill potential outside of Lone Druid getting a lucky root. That could definitely turn the tide of that fight. But it is a relatively even matchup overall. Bottom lane's been quiet for a grand total of a minute now, which is pretty much a new record. Looks like they might be trying to go on the Sand King. Oh, nope. Looks like the Sand King's going to stun out, and the Lifestealer coming through with that open wounds. He has chosen not to skill rage, which is a questionable decision in this kind of a lane, especially with all of the nukes and lockdown. Not having rage could have cost him his life there. Luckily, he got away with a sliver of health and will salve up, but it was a close one for him. He definitely came a little bit too close for comfort to dying there, thanks to not skilling rage. Feast, while it is useful, of course, in lane, it gives you back, okay, 15 health a hit there, you know, definitely helpful. But to skill it over Rage, I can understand skilling open wounds, definitely solid, but not skilling Rage in an against an aggressive tri-lane like that is definitely going to be a less than fantastic decision. As far as last hits are going, looks like the Lone Druid is topping the charts here. 404 gold on him, has the Orb of Venom up on his bear, which will definitely help getting a couple extra last hits with the damage over time, as well as keeping a couple extra hits on the heroes. And it looks like the Dire have decided to smoke up and come middle, but not getting quite much there as Banzai was out of the lane for a moment, so they didn't manage to get anything there, but they're still looking around trying to find what they can. Taylor Swift fan does bottle up a haste rune, so we'll see what they can make of that. Beastmaster is actually winning that lane mid, and it looks like Clink's almost going down to the bear there, but popping his salve will get him right back up. Sensa still looking really dangerous here, and they will break smoke and come on in on him. He has no ultimate yet. This is the perfect time to gank Storm Spirit. They'll land the stun and the axes and get that kill. They really timed that perfectly because he's very close to getting his 6, only 150 experience off. And once he gets that 6, he is really hard to gank, as soon as you pop in, he can just hop up and, you know, come from the low ground right up to the high ground, and that gank is over. So they chose a very good time to go on him and get that kill and get that more advantage for Taylor Swift fan here in the middle. That said, like he needed the advantage, he is doing very well, topping the leaderboard right now at 25 and 4 as far as last hits go. 1,090 gold in the bank, has his boots and bottle, and 3 GG branches, of course. That's the real winning combination here. So he's doing rather well. Missed that kill up top, sorry about that. Biffaloo takes down the Clinks. Looks like he might have just gotten a root, might have just, you know, gotten a couple lucky swipes in or whatever, but either way, he did end up getting that kill. Definitely going to help him out in that lane and help keep that Clinks down and keep down the mid-game power there of the Clinks. Storm Spirit not doing nearly as well as I thought he would be doing in this lane. He's being forced to be a little bit less aggressive, and it looks like they're going to find error with the net and the Leshrac stun coming out on him. The slow is going to hit him up too, and the Diabolic Edict's coming through, and despite the defensive disruption, it looks like he's going to be going down again. That's his 3rd death, I believe. Yep, 3rd death this game, so he is not having a great time on this bottom lane. He was certainly overextended there by a little bit, being out behind the creep camp. Perhaps not the best positioning, but also not the worst if you have a reason for it, but just bad timing being out there with the other heroes. Looks like a DD rune is going to be bought. Jesse Ventura is going to pick that up, and they're going to drop another ward down. Gank coming in on Taylor Swift here, and Sensa's going to drop the ultimate and poof in. Get the kill there with just a couple right clicks from him and Clinks, and definitely taking back some advantage in that middle lane. They really needed to control the Beastmaster right there because he is getting a little bit out of hand with those last hits, so definitely a good kill for them and very useful. Supports are coming around bottom, hiding behind the trees here, looking to possibly come out and gank. But Lifestealer will spot them out, and he sees them lurking back there, but doesn't do a whole lot about it, just notices that they're there, it looked like. He might not have had vision, because they are still playing quite aggressively, so I'm not totally positive there. But he definitely should have spotted them out, but they'll retreat back anyway, and nothing will really come of it. Lifestealer still doing very well, though, with 29 last hits, coming up 3rd on the leaderboard. Has his boots, has his gloves of haste, and 950 gold in the bank, so he's got the gold to support a little bit more items here if he wants. Air is now spamming out that Shadow Poison to get a little bit of damage going. It's level 1, so it won't do too much, but it'll definitely be better than nothing. Sensa here has his boots and is doing okay. He has 20 last hits, which could be better, especially for a Storm middle, but he's catching up slowly, I guess, but the Beastmaster is still charging ahead with 37 last hits. He's looking quite good now, getting his full wand up to combat the Storm's fast cast rate, and throwing out those wild axes whenever he pleases thanks to their great rune control and the bottle. Looks like Storm's going to guess on the rune, and guess correctly. He does get the rune up there. Looks like there's going to be a fight down here on bottom. A double stun on bottom. by the Sand King. Man Style is getting gone on by the Lifestealer. Lifestealer taking a lot of damage now. Looks like he will be going down to the Visage. Last hit there. And Naga got really low there, but not too bad. And it looks like they're going to re-engage. Jesse Ventura canceling the stun. Very nice stun canceling there, but misses the stun eventually. And he's in really deep now, so if they can get a stun out on him, but not enough mana on the Sand King for that stun. Just a little bit too little, so looks like they're not going to be able to finish that one off. Lifestealer dying there, though, is very unfortunate. That's definitely going to slow down his farm a lot, though. He does still have 1,150 gold. He is definitely going to fall behind in the last hits. The Lone Druid does take first Tower Blood, so he will be getting a bunch more gold for that, and he does get the Destroy on the tower, which is definitely nice for him. He's going to be sitting on Tranquil Boots on him, and Phase Boots on his bear now. That's going to be huge in chasing down. Being able to walk through the creeps, have a ton of move speed there, definitely going to help him, and on top of the damage. And as you can see, the bear just takes down those towers really quickly, so they definitely have to be careful about this bear pushing in too much. They're giving him free farm on top, which I'm not sure is the best decision, but might be one they kind of feel is necessary based on how that tri-lane is going. The tri-lane is going well, and it looks like they'll take a kill mid. Missed that one on ya, but Leshrack's stun will come through, drops the Edict, and that Visage spell will be dodged. Very nice disjoint from Storm there, otherwise he might have gone down. It would have been a close one, so definitely a good disjoint by him as they re-engaged off the Klink's kill. Klink's is going to rotate top again to try and fend off this Lone Druid, who's still getting that whole lot of farm there. 51 and 4 on him, while the Klink's is only at 19 and 2. Klink's pretty much has nothing. Looks like he's going to be going for the Orchid build, which against this team is certainly going to be useful against something like Leshrack or against the Beastmaster before he gets his ult off. Would definitely be a very, very good pickup if he can get there. But at the rate he's farming, he's not going to be there for a very long time. Lone Druid going into the jungle to farm up. Tri-lane still kind of intact for both sides. Kind of gone down to more of a duo lane here. But looks like they're going to go on the Lifesteal again. Lifesteal choosing not to pop Rage, and they drop the net on the Sand King instead, deciding that he'll be an easier kill. Open wounds out on Jesse Ventura, pops the Rage, but has to retreat. Those right clicks doing a lot of damage. The Visage nuke coming through, doing tons of damage, while the Naga gets the final hit there. Taylor Swift NA rotated down, but really didn't do much of anything as he did get disrupted right there, and his ultimate was down anyway, so he didn't do much, but they didn't even need it. He does get the assist gold, so that will definitely help him out with getting a little bit more farm, and those Arcane Boots is going to be very helpful for the entire team, especially the Naga spamming out her Riptide. Definitely a very spammable, very good nuke for knocking down creep waves, knocking down armor on heroes, very capable, and a good slow on it, I do believe. No, maybe not. Oh well. But the armor there is huge. It does, at the highest level, it will knock down 5 armor, and this early in the game, losing 5 armor can be a huge problem. I keep missing these Klink's kills. I'm sorry about that. Focusing on the armor. Klink's manages to get a kill on the Lone Druid at the top lane. Finally, they're slowing down the Lone Druid's farm. They really needed that kill, but it did take their 3 cores to go up there and get it. So it's a huge investment from them, but the investment does end up paying off. Error is getting gone on, and Sand King will go down on the bottom lane. Error looks like he might go down here. One more hit, and Visage gets the nukes off. Man Style also going down on that Naga to the Storm. Storm comes in, burns all of his mana getting that kill. Gets a couple extra right clicks on the Leshrack. Tries to go for the ultimate to get his overcharge up, but does not get there in time. Taking a whole bunch of damage from the Visage nuke, and it looks like Taylor Swift in a few seconds will be able to take him down with those axes. Klink's comes in on the backside to finish off the Leshrack, but Taylor Swift fan throws the axes, but Banzai, SN3, whatever, was not there. Klink's will be going down here and doesn't manage to take out the Visage, though the Lifestealer will come and clean that one up. Naga does pick up the Diffusal, which would be hugely helpful, but right now Taylor Swift fan NA looks like he might be going down with those Visage Familiars. Fantastic micro coming out from the Visage Familiars, slowing down the Lifestealer, and oh, that turnaround, that stutter step might have cost him right there. Lifestealer will have the open wounds up in 3 seconds, might be able to take that one down unless he gets the support. Lone Druid coming in for the support, the stun up on the Lifestealer, and he will get taken out. Those Visage Familiars stunning him out again, very helpful. That mid tower will go down. Storm comes in, but ults away, gets the kill on Taylor Swift fan, it looks like, but he's low on mana, gets entangled, gets netted, and the disruption coming in on Jesse Ventura, but the Storm will go down to right clicks anyway. Error also looking like he's going to go down, and he does. Regen Rune at mid will be picked up, and that Diffusal Blade coming in handy handy there. Dumps one charge off, and the mana burn is certainly going to be helpful for that Naga. Clinks is lurking around mid, and I better watch him so I don't miss more of his shenanigans. But gonna come down here and eat a creep for some extra damage and life, and go straight back into his invisibility. Looks like he might be trying to pick someone off here, but I really don't think he can take man style, so wouldn't go there. And he has tons of backup down there, so wouldn't be the best idea, but maybe he can find a lone support that he can handle. He does have his first Oblivion staff up, which will be huge as far as getting that Orchid, so that's definitely helpful. Taylor Swift fan NA almost to the mech. Another 600 gold until the mech. Looks like Louis Contraire will get the Leshrac kill, and I got the very tail end of that. Go figure, I look away, and he's managing to get another kill. He does get dusted, so the couple hits off from the Lone Druid, hoping for a lucky root, but doesn't look like he's going to get it. And it looks like here Lone Druid is blocking his bear with himself. Not the best micro there, but wouldn't have mattered too much, I wouldn't think, but one activate of those phase boots would have solved that. Lifesteal farming up bottom, trying to catch up at this point. He does have 52 last hits on par with the Beastmaster, but still quite a bit behind the Lone Druid at 68. Lone Druid looking very solid as far as farm goes, and he has moved into the jungle to try to jungle and get a few more last hits. Does pick up the Vlads, which will help him and his bear quite a bit in the melee form, between jungling and the extra damage and armor and mana regen. Definitely a good pickup for him and the rest of his team. Between the Naga and the Beastmaster will both be able to use it. Looks like Storm is just kind of sitting up here trying to find the best time to go on someone, I guess, or wait for the gold to TP out. Kind of a waste of time, bit of a waste of gold there, but he definitely could have found a lucky pick. Sadly, the entire T-Swift team was there, and it looks like he's going to come in on the back end here, not knowing that perhaps that there's 4 or 5 all hanging out right here. But he does back off and manages to get away before anyone really pokes their head out. Louis Contraire is going to get netted, and the roar is out on him, and just tons of damage between all the nukes, and he gets nuked down immediately before he can even try to go invis or anything else. Lifestealer does end up taking the bottom tower, though he didn't get the last hit, so the gold will be split, but the tier 2 on top will be taken in return. Definitely a good trade for the Dire here, as they will be able to push in towards the base. Lifestealer trying to split push and keep them off that in tier 3, but it doesn't look like that's going to be working. They have their entire team here and armored up from that Beastmaster. So there is the fortification coming out, so Lifestealer is TPing back in the meantime. Sand King comes in with the stun. Still doesn't have mana for his ultimate though, so not looking good there. Sensa here is going on Taylor Swift fan. Disruption out in the middle of everything, but Error ends up going down. And it does look like Jackass found the mana for his ultimate. Too bad does not do much of anything there, with the entire team being too tanky. Visage ends up getting the Lifestealer kill, and Sensa will pop back out. Clinks is just kind of sitting there invisible, comes out of his invis, gets dusted, gets netted, goes down. It's looking like this is going to be a Rax on top. Maybe the GGs will come out, and it looks like Taylor Swift is going to call the GG here. That's a little bit of bad etiquette, but it's alright. They know it's over. Radiant knows it's over, I guess. So Storm pops in, tries to get another kill, but doesn't look like it. Definitely a very early call, and a little bit of bad manners from T-Swift fan here, but it's understandable. They do have a massive advantage at this point in time. Everyone on the Radiant is just so far behind, it's going to be very hard to come back. Even landing a very good Sand King ult there did not help them very much, as it just did not have the damage output to the over-leveled heroes from the Dire. Looking at levels, I forget all my hotkeys, so looking at levels, the levels are reasonably even, being Clinks and Storm have the levels at level 11, along with Beastmaster having that level 2 ultimate is very important. But as you can see, the number 1 core here, perhaps, is the Lifestealer, and he is not looking too great on levels. He's only level 9, as that tri-lane did not work out as planned bottom, and did get shut down very harshly by the aggressive try of the Dire. Going to the experience and gold graphs for a moment. Looks like the experience is going to be a little bit over 5,000 in favor of the Dire, while gold will be over 12,000 in favor of the Dire, and that gold lead is just gigantic. And it looks like Banzai Sensa is going to go on Taylor Swift fan middle, but he gets roared up, and the Wild Axes will be coming out in a moment, and he will go down to the Leshrac stun. Disruption coming out on the Beastmaster, but to no real avail. Error goes down immediately, just gets blown up, and it looks like Toto gets blown up despite his fancy new armlet pickup. Leshrac goes down on the backside to Louis Contraire, but to no avail there. Sand King does end up going down to T-Bone, and it looks like it's a 5-for-1 trade, as Jesse Ventura does note. A little bit of trash talking going on in the all chat. But it was a 5-for-1 trade, all 5 of them just for the Leshrac. So it looks like they're going to be able to push down the tier 2 in middle. There's not much the Radiant can really do here. Banzai did put up a decent fight earlier, but looks like they're going to start disconnecting off. Lifestealer goes, and no one even pauses. Jesse Ventura offers an RQ, which not really sure what that means, so I'll reserve judgment. GGs are coming out, and the entire Banzai team is ending up disconnecting. Storm and Sand King ends up reconnecting. Looks like he wants to rejoin the fight. Maybe pull out that multi-Divine Rapier win. Everyone calling out the GGs, though. They know it's over, so looks like that's going to be it for me for this cast. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to cast you today, and I hope you enjoyed my casting. Any feedback you want to give, please don't hesitate. I am open to all feedback. This is definitely one of my earlier casts, so please, please, please let me know how I can improve. If you want to check out any more of my casts, I only have one up right now, but youtube.com/SeeCDota. That's SeeCDota. Check me out there if you want to. I do have a cast up from the Western qualifiers, and I will be catching you next time. Enjoy the good Dota tonight, Dota fans.